Number 5, Tom Healy needs to be mentioned as captain. Then we have Tom Bassett, Jack Hellison, Neville Zewell, Darren Richardson, and Stephen Husbands.
It's great to be able to broadcast through Rogers Television all the way down to the Caribbean nations. We've got people from all over the world taking a look at this game today. And especially a lot of Canadians in Bermuda will have some split feelings about this, because it's not often these two countries play. As Kieran Hearn gets ready to get this game underway, one of the top restart and kickoff specialists in the Sevens game today. He offers a big, high-floating kick most times that his team can recover.
It's on its way.
Might be a little long as Sean Duke goes in to put some pressure on, and it's gone into touch after being nudged by a Canadian foot there, and it'll be first line out here to Canada because it went off a Bermudan foot.
Went off a Bermuda guy. Well, I think Canada will be looking right here at starting strongly with Phil Mack thrown in the line-out. Phil Mack coming back from a long-time injury. Quite serious.
Great to see the speedster back, and he's working as the scrum half spot there. Hearn getting that outside one hopper. Duke trying to gather that in before it hits touch. Uses his soccer skills.
Good control of the ball, yeah.
Now he's going to do a chip and chase, and he might get to that. Bermuda hand gets there first, and that might be the first try of the day.
First try. Sean Duke.
Quality.
Yeah, a little bouncing of the ball and just stepped on it, controlled it in the end zone, and that's it. A little touchdown. First touchdown in the first minute of the play. That's quite good. You know, these guys are looking forward. I think they really want to set a tone, like I said earlier. And, you know, Sean Duke, definitely to be watched. He's very good on the circuit. I'd consider him practically a veteran on the team now. I mean, he's set. He knows his game.
Gotten a few nods at the 15s game as well.
That's right.
People not familiar with Sevens version of rugby, 2 7-minute halves. Doesn't sound like much, but when you're out there, that's plenty.
You're using up everything here. You know, it's the tournament also that you use up your endurance. But, yeah, the kick is not good. So 5 points for Canada, 5-0. But, yeah, Sevens game is a very complete game.
Now, cheeky kickoff by Hearn. He goes left. Bermuda player gets there. That was number 2, Summers Bruin.
Knock on. I think it'll be Canada scrum.
So new laws being introduced into the scrum area for this tournament, and it's really just to do with the normal call has been changed, and it's instead of pause, it's I want to say it's engage. Pierce Higgins confirmed the call on the scrum is now set.
Okay, what the call was before was crouch, touch, pause, engage. It's now changed to crouch, touch,
quick tap,
set, and the set is an invite to the teams to engage.
All right, back to live action.
Canada went quickly here on the penalty, and we see Hearns for a try in the corner. Yeah.
Kieran Hearn from Conception Bay, Newfoundland, just showing how these guys have got about 5 different gears, and the Bermudians fit. Bunch of young guys, but it's the experience and just knowing how to shake your shoulders and drop a leg and that kind of thing. It just fools them on a defensive structure.
The Bermudians haven't had the chance to touch the ball yet, you know, so hopefully we can see them run the ball a little bit, but against Canada, I think it'll be very hard for them to get possession of the ball.
So Canada up 10-0 early in this game. And again, if you're watching Sevens for the first time, unlike a football conversion where it's always dead straight, where the players score, they've got to come out in a direct line. That's why Kieran Hearn is on a far right angle. And this is not an easy kick, though. For a right footer, it's easier than doing it the other side of the field.
Definitely.
So he's going to try and loop this around and over the bar. And he's done a nice job of pushing it wide.
Yeah. So 10-0. 3.5 minutes played already.
Back in your playing days, you know, playing places like Hong Kong and all around the world, these scores can get lopsided in a hurry, even in 14 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one thing about countries like that, like Canada being a team on the circuit, and Bermuda that gets few opportunities to play. Definitely, when you go to Hong Kong, you gain a lot of experience. So Canada being at Hong Kong every year definitely is at an advantage here.
Superb kick by Hearn.
They're beautiful.
That was knocked on by a Canadian hand, and Bermuda now on the attack, but the ball goes to ground. That's the first possession they've really had in this game. And now fighting up the field, trying to pick up the number. That's number 4, Tom Healy, the captain. Pick and drive now. Bermuda trying to drive over, committing too many people to the breakdown, though, and they're running out of options.
A lot of fighting at the breakdown.
Healy, bad pass, goes to ground. Canada trying to get to it. Bermudian player playing it on the ground, but will take the knock-on first.
Knock on, yeah.
So great position here for Canada.
Again,
and the
yeah.
scrum spread center field.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll get to see a set play. You know, those are always nice to watch in sevens rugby, just like 15s. You know, these guys are organized. They've practiced these plays over and over again, so it's nice when they come off. You know, we're looking for something great here.
Well,
Sean Duke in the corner.
And now first problems at the scrum, and that's against Canada. So Bermuda will take the quick tap by Healy.
Yeah, Canada went in a little early on this one.
So I'm wondering if those new instructions at the scrum could be confusing some of the players, but they'll sort it out over the course of the day. A maul forming here now. Canada fighting for that ball, but Bermuda keeping it their side.
An overlap for Bermuda.
Before the pass could get away by Zool, he's brought down.
Great tackle.
So Bermuda putting a little fight into this now. Now that they've gotten a little bit of possession, they're going, hey, we can do this, but we've just got to play smart. They're getting shut down early by the Canadian defense.
Yeah, they haven't had much opportunity. You know, I mean, I was talking about being nervous. I mean, Bermuda looks quite nervous right now on the field. Obviously, they start their tournament off with what I consider probably the top seed in the tournament. So obviously they're nervous, but you know, it's not going very well so far.
Scrum troubles for Bermuda now. And it's now number 4, John Moonlight, back in after a long-term injury, and he's going to be the playmaker on this one. He's a big forward out there providing the muscle for Canada. He's keeping it tap and go, and then back to Mac. Mac looking for an outlet pass. He finds it, but it bobbled at Tyler Ardron's hands, and so it'll be scrum for Bermuda inside their own 22.
A lot of pressure here, actually. These I'll admit it to you, when you're stuck in your own end with a scrum, you know, it's not like in 15s. In 7s, the scrums are a lot more unstable. So winning your own ball, you got to fight for it. So Canada here will be looking at a big push and trying to steal that ball in the Bermudian end.
So the 4 Canadian backs.
There you go.
There now it's Mac on blindside. Yeah.
Mac's gone blind.
And that's just experience.
Yeah.
You know, you only have 10 meters to go. That guy's going to be nervous one-on-one with a great like Mac. And he's looking for a potential outlet pass, so sort of spreading his arms out and hoping he guessed right.
Very, very happy to see Mac score his first try back. I mean, that's exciting. It'll be good for him. It'll be a confidence booster. You know, a great player. I mean, it'll be very aspiring for his team, too, to get him back. I think he's looking to prove something also. You know, it's been a long way back for him.
Mac is the current point scorer leader in Canadian sevens right now, and you know, having to sit out such an important season, especially when Canada qualified for core status, he must have been just killing himself, wishing he was out on the field, but did the right thing, and that's halftime, and Canada have now got a 15-0 lead. I don't think that kick went over.
No, it didn't. And they've actually been, you know, they've been scoring their tries in the corner. You like to see wingers score tries or scoring in the corner. That means they're playing the ball wide, and it's great. You know, great first half for Canada. I think they'll probably be a little disappointed because there's some handling errors, but overall very good.
All right, I'm going to get you a hand off your headset to Al Sharon. He is the official king of rugby in Ottawa. Hello, Your Highness, and welcome back to your old stomping grounds.
Steady, Doug, steady.
So Al, a stalwart of the Ottawa Irish Rugby Club, and of course longtime Canadian player. Al, you've played this shortened version of the game back in the 90s when Fred was on the circuit as well. There's not big guys like you playing rugby so much anymore, is there?
There is. Probably not as slow as I am. There's certainly fast guys now, but I didn't actually have the pleasure of playing sevens with Freddie. I was past my prime at that point, but I certainly enjoyed playing sevens. Had a lot of success at the club level, but the international level, it's a different beast, and it certainly is a different beast now with the speed and the pace that these guys have now. It's international sevens it's incredible. These guys are incredible athletes. They're all very fit, and like I said, it's a different game now.
All right, so just 1 minute at halftime. You think that's enough time for a guy like you? Would that be enough of a breather to get back to action?
Back in my day, I don't think in my old day, and certainly not at this state right now. But yeah, I mean, I love sevens, but it's played at a pace now that it's incredible, and it's a fun game to watch, and I think it's a great way to introduce rugby to the person who doesn't know much about rugby.
All right, well, have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you throughout the day, and
Sounds
thanks
good,
for
Doug.
stopping by.
Thanks very much.
So Canada and Bermuda will switch halves now, and Fred, it's going to be 33 Celsius here today. Temperatures are great for playing right now, though. It's sort of low 20s. Humidity, thank goodness. Ottawa's famous for its humidity. Not as much of a factor, but for teams like Bermuda, the Guyanese, and all that, this is just another day at the office.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, this is what you'd think, but at the same time, you know, the humidity, I mean, the ball's slippery right now. That's what I've actually seen, either for Canada or Bermuda. I mean, it's not a...
Morning dew getting on the ball. And,
exactly. The ball touches the ground, then it's a slippery ball. So I think that's why Canada hasn't had the opportunity to put more points on the board.
So Bermuda getting this back underway. That's Tom Bassett, and he hasn't managed to kick it 10 meters. That's got to be frustrating for a coach to watch.
Yeah, another rule in in rugby is on the kickoff, you have to have 10 meters before you can play the ball. So if you can't get it over the 10 meters, obviously it's to the other team. Ball moves over to the other team. So Canada's got a set play straight down the middle.
Normally in 15s, the team would probably choose a scrum at center. Here we've got Chauncey O'Toole coming down the wing there, and Canada in a threat here. It's John Moonlight.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just crossed the line. John Moonlight, welcome back to Sevens Rugby, your first score.
Beautiful pass by Chauncey O'Toole there, right in contact, a little wraparound, and passed the ball right through in the gap. I mean, that was beautiful handoff. That's what they're capable of.
Sevens very much a game about speed, but you still have to have the big men like Tyler Ardron and John Moonlight, Chauncey O'Toole. What do they bring to the field?
Oh, I mean, these guys are leaders. I mean, if you don't have your big boys, you know, setting the tone and up front, I mean, you don't get any ball out back. So these guys, and they're very athletics. I mean, they're not picking any big guy. They're picking the big guys that are very athletics, fast. And that's what's great about sevens. You can get any type of body types. I mean, small guys, big guys. Obviously, one of the key ingredients is speed.
Right. So Phil Mack has come off the field, and Chauncey O'Toole replaced by Connor Traynor and Sean White. And Sean White's going to be the scrum half, replacing Mack. And boy, he's a fun playmaker, and it's like a rubberized player. Just bounces around, gets back up. A lot of fun to watch. He's wearing number 8. Connor Traynor wearing number 5, and you can recognize him by that flowing mane of hair.
Oh yeah, and he's very solid. You know, I've been watching him in the last couple of years in 15s. Connor Traynor, I mean, he's the up and comer in Canada. I mean, let's not. I can't put any more better than that. I mean, this guy is a great athlete. That's what I was saying earlier.
So Hassler on the field as well. Bermuda with the ball in hand. That is Healy getting the ball out. They're trying to get it out to the edge, trying to maybe get to their speed merchant instead, playing with the ball too long. Canada's going to punish you for that every time. They're at the breakdown. Canada getting the ball
stolen,
from stolen ball there.
Quick
that's
ball out
Ardron.
wide. Quick ball out wide.
Connor with his first Connor Trainer's first
beautiful
touch, and that's going to be a try for Sean White.
Yep.
One man to beat. And will he try and go for center post? He will, because points for and against do count. And those little 2-pointers,
right.
you leave them all day.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what I like, you know, is a Traynor here, you know, gave the pass. I'm sure Traynor could have gone in himself. He just chose to, you know, they've trained a lot, like I said, to put the ball wide, you know, release the pressure. And that's a perfect example of just, you know, using your guys all the way to the end.
Yeah, you got to assess, can I beat this guy, or maybe we'll get a lick on me and I knock the ball in. Exactly. No, let's go the safe first.
And first game, let's not forget, it's their first game. So these guys, these Canadian boys, they're thinking further ahead. I can guarantee you that.
Connor Braid puts it across.
Coaches always tell you, don't think too far ahead, but I think Canada can allow themselves to think a little further down, and I think this is what's happening here, even with the selection of players and the starting lineup.
So I believe our score is going to be 27-0 with that try.
That's exactly it, yeah. Converted try, it was under the post.
So 10 minutes gone in this game, second half action.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Ardron gets a hand on it to Moonlight. White getting it out wide now.
There we go. Quick ball again to the wing.
Hassler,
Sean Duke with a nice little chip through, eh?
He'll touch down for the easiest of scores. Just had to fall over the line and touch it down. But that's the confidence this Canadian team possesses, because they do it in training. Now there's just a guy with blue shirts standing out there instead, and not disrespecting the Bermudians, but they're you know, a different class of player being on that 7 circuit day, week in and week out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can get a little demoralizing to have tries scored on you like that. But at the same time, they know they're playing against the top seed. They're going to have plenty of opportunities this weekend, Bermuda, to do their stuff. But it's the way things go. You start off against Canada, in Canada. You can expect these types of games.
Connor Braid converting that. Ardron doing what he does
beautiful
best.
hands.
Yeah, big basketball skills there.
Yeah, definitely. That plays into effect.
Hassler, former University of Saskatchewan running back, and he's going to come across. And this is where the wheels kind of fall off for teams in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Fatigue is setting in, and now Canada's just finding the bigger gaps and taking advantage.
You see Hassler there. I mean, you just mentioned it, a running back. I mean, it's his favorite thing to go one-on-one against a guy. These guys are running the pile with 3-4 guys going for their head. Now he's got a one-on-one opportunity. I can guarantee this guy could probably go through almost every time, with the experience he's got.
So Braid lays in the conversion quickly, 34-0, and so tilted score of the day to start off this game. You'll probably be seeing a few of these depending on the matchups. Braid, a high floating offering. He's taken over the kicking duties from Hearn.
Just beautiful.
Ardron, it's clear what his role is out there, and that's on kickoffs. Get that ball back to the Canadian side. Didn't work out in this case. It's Bermuda with the throw-in. Healy to toss the ball into this short lineout.
You see why they're kicking to Tyler every time. It's just straight into his hands. I mean, there's a little mishap there, but he's a very solid under the high ball.
So overshot by Bermuda.
Oh yeah.
Trainer gets it out to Hassler. Another one-on-one opportunity. He's burned his opposite number for his second try of this half. And that's why Hassler is going to be a Canadian name we hear in both the 15s and 7s game. What an exciting player.
Yeah, definitely. That was, again, just untouched right through. He saw the gap and just took it and right under the post.
And what's exciting about Jeff Hassler is University of Saskatchewan wanted this guy for football. And he said, no, you know what? Ultimately, rugby's my sport. And there's football going, you could play in the CFL. And he goes, I got better opportunity. I could be an Olympic gold medalist.
Exactly.
You doing that for me, Saskatchewan Roughriders? No.
You've mentioned the thing that's very important. I mean, these guys now can aspire to play in the Olympic Games. I mean, in my career, I would have dreamt that. I actually did dream it. When you go to the Commonwealth Games and you go to World Cups, you start thinking, wow, I mean, this game should be an Olympic game. And now it is. So it's a realistic dream for these guys. I'm sure they're thinking about that every day. And you can talk to any Olympian, they dream it,
Kickoff didn't go quite right for Canada there. Now ball to ground by Bermuda with a 41-0 lead. Canada's not going to punish themselves too bad over that. No. And that is full time.
That's full time.
First game in the books.
Yep.
And Canada with a comfortable win and a historic moment. First time the Canadian Sevens team in international competition has played on home soil ever.
Yeah.
And so what an exciting way to start.
They go with a victory. Yeah, definitely. Now they're going to go home and recuperate, and recovery becomes very, very important at this point. And that's it. It's a long tournament, 2 days long.
All right, and do you have the schedule there?
Yep.
Fred, next game up?
Next game up, we got Mexico, Bahamas at 9:20. So in about 5 minutes, what it looks like.
So if you're watching online, there'll be an interruption in the feed. As every game, we got to stop the feed to archive video. But we will be back in just a couple of minutes. Doug Cross for Fred Asline. Rob Turk will be up next. We didn't have a chance to work him into the lineup, but he was standing by, and we'll get him talking before you know it. Back with more live coverage from the NACRA International Sevens Rugby Qualifier in Ottawa.